All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program. Target Experiment. Here, as I said, welcome back. You guys will hear the call horn. There you go again. Um, I wanted to play a little bit of the audiobook so you guys can hear and understand certain things. Okay, this book and MBTI. If you can get the book. Go get it. Get the audiobook if you can't get the physical hard copy. But you should read this book. All right, let me tell this a little bit of this. But here's the thing: it's not Russia; it's the U.S. Okay, it is not Russia; it is not China; it is the U.S. These things were happening way before, right? In the early 2000s, right? There was an FBI agent who was attacked in the same manner, right? Sonic weapons, or what is called psychoacoustic weapons, and they literally made him retire. Now, we as TIs, we've been talking about this stuff way back since the 1980s, the late 1980s, when you had who's it, Gillian McKinney, who was a analyst for the NSA, and she wanted to investigate the claims of Americans who were talking about being hit by directed energy weapons, and they targeted her and drove her out of the NSA. And in her report, which she put out in the early 2000s, when the internet was, readily available in a lot of places, right? I don't think you can find her report online anymore, but I do have it. And she talks about how when she brought the attention of what was going on, and all these people were calling, complaining about these things, that they told her to drop it, right? And she keep pursuing it because she said there was too many people calling about this, and so they started targeting her within the NSA, forcing her to leave the NSA, and then she became a target. So anybody that knows about these things, who are trying to expose these things, they are targeted, right? They are targeted. Your predator department just use their sirens. Very low volume now, right? Because they don't want you guys to hear what it is that they're doing. Excuse me. And here's the thing. We know that these weapons have already been developed. We know this because if the U.S. talks about China having developed these weapons already, you don't think that the U.S. has developed those weapons also? Huh? You don't think that the U.S. have developed these weapons already, right? When they talk about China using mind control program on the Uyghurs in China, right? The BCI, brain computer interface, right? They're using them as victims of non-consensual human experimentation. That's what the U.S. does to black people in America, right? They do this to black people. Not to say that they don't do it to other groups of people too, but black people are the main test subjects of the U.S. government when it comes to these things. So when I talk about cognitive warfare, how did the U.S. become such an expert in cognitive warfare? Is because they've engaged in the experimentation of cognitive warfare within the black community and within black people. This is why you see black people behave the way that we do. It is the fault of the U.S. government. Make no mistake about that. Here's the thing. Hold on a sec here. Here's the thing. NATO countries, they know about these weapons because they've also developed these weapons. See, the one thing about NATO governments, which again we should all understand, NATO countries, nations, is that they will always lie to the people. They will always lie to you and I. They're never going to tell you the truth, right? And even when they're caught, they will try to downplay the truth. Like Edward Snowden. When Edward Snowden first revealed that the NSA was spying on us, they said, "Oh well, they're not spying on us. All they're doing is collecting the metadata." Then what happened? We found out not only were they collecting the metadata, but they were also recording our conversations. So do you really, I can't stress enough that it's important for people to wake up and have some form of consciousness, for people to understand what goes on. There are certain books that you should be reading, right? In Search of Our Enemies, how the CIA engaged in warfare across the globe. I forgot the author name. He was an ex-CIA agent, right? Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, right? Go and read the declassified documents on psychotronic weapons. Okay? Read about the use of radio wave and microwave frequency, the biological effect of radio wave and microwave frequency. Right? And you can find reports that they've been doing these studies since the 1940s, 1950s. So don't think that they don't know. It is we, the public, who don't know. It is we, the public, who are being lied to, who are being misled. And it's not just military forces. The New York Predator Department was hitting me in the early 2000s with vibrational acoustic weapons. That is why they messed up my back. That is why they damaged my spine. They were hitting me with acoustic vibrational weapons. All right? Not only that, but I have the report which I posted online of the MRI I've done on my brain, showing that the leakage, the seepage of the fluid that your brain, that you have in your brain, it levels out your brain, right? That seepage, right, is causing my brain to tilt upwards. Okay, how did that happen? Because of the acoustic weapons, right? Not only that, but then being microchipped. Now, I can't say exactly when I was microchipped, but I'll tell you one thing. When I was I was renting a part of a private house, and things used to come up missing in my apartment, right? Didn't even realize that at night that they might have been coming into my apartment. Because I remember at one point, girlfriend at the time, she had came over one day and she just stood there looking at me with this strange look and started crying. This was in the late 1990s, right? I think it was 1998 or something like that, maybe 99, right? This is the same look that I experienced with Pam when my son was born, right? When our son was born and Ethan was born. Okay, when we had went back to the hospital to change to add on my last name on his birth certificate. All right, and we paid the fee. Right, we paid the fee. Right, and what happens? They send us the same birth certificate. They didn't change one thing, and we went there personally. Right, let's go back. Right, in 1990s. Right, I applied for my citizenship. I paid the money. I think I paid like over $600. Okay, they never sent me any notification in the mail to come and take the test of my citizenship. They never sent it to me. So I lost out on over $600. And it wasn't until I became a TI and started to research this thing, I realized that they were doing this shit to me long before. They did it to my brother in the 1990s. They did it to my older brother in the early 1990s. But he didn't quite understand what's going on. Right? My brother was very brilliant, smart guy. Okay? Get A's. And they mind fucked him. And we never knew what had happened to him. But now I know. And this is why they are moving so quick to try to silence me. Because the more people listen to me, is the more they're going to try to get rid of me and try to attack me. Like I was talking to another TI, or at least he claimed he was a TI, right? And he said that every time he looked at my videos, when he go outside, there's a lot of police presence. So what they're trying to tell me is that when people look at my videos, they will attack them because of the knowledge that I'm putting out there. That they don't want people to know these things. So they will use the force of the Predator Police Department to deter people from looking at my videos. This is what they've been doing. Now here's the thing, though. They have created war against us. We didn't create war against them. They created war against us. You understand what I'm saying? Particularly when it comes to the cognitive warfare. Look at the behavior of black people, young black people. Look at our behavior. Look at the things that we're being misled to believe. Lies, manipulation. Right? That is a sign of a people who have been attacked with cognitive warfare. You have to understand that. You have to know this. Okay? So when you're blaming the victims of these crimes and you're letting the perpetrators go, who is the U.S. government, who's the white supremacists, who is those within the churches, right? They're the guilty ones. They're the ones engaging in this. And a big part of the use of religion to engage in recruiting other people, to manipulate other people to so-called bring them to Christ. That is a sick, perverted mindset that they've given these religious believers. And like I said, and they will use anybody, any means, and they will do things that is so despicable in order to do what? To try to control you, to try to manipulate you. Now, here's the thing, right? When they are manipulating us to where we become weaponized and a danger to ourselves and each other, this is what they do. So when you look at a person's behavior, you don't know what was done to that person. And this is what their main talking point is. The fact that you don't know, and I didn't know, that they were engaging in cognitive, covert manipulation, cognitive warfare, to change your behavior, to change your way of your thought pattern, right? This is what they do. This is how they engage. And like I said, we as TIs, like I said, my purpose is greater than theirs. Okay? And like I said, I ain't running because I want to confront them. I want just as how as they want to test this out to see if what it is that they've done works so successfully that people believe them in their effort to manipulate us. Well, I want to see if the truth, not see, but they're gonna know that the truth is gonna prevail. And so I'm gonna keep speaking the truth, no matter what they do. no matter what type of threat, because there is no higher power than the truth. Knowledge, understanding is something that they don't want us to have. So go and seek that knowledge. Go and get that understanding. Not from religion. Keep away from that shit. But we gonna see. And they're gonna know that the truth is higher power than their lies, their manipulation, their deception. There is no exceptions for what it is that they're doing. All right? When you are poisoning people with lead in their homes, in the private and public housing market, and then you are blaming them because they are victims of your crime, right? Your crime, you can say, well, that person act on their own accord. No, that person is acting because you've poisoned not only their mind, but their bodies. You've manipulated them using psychological operation, using technology, using radio frequency weapons. So you're not going to get away with this. And I, for one, like I said, I'm going to be the tool used to open the minds of my people, and hopefully the rest of the world will be looking and listening and understanding and doing the research to understand what the U.S. government, what these racists have been doing, particularly within the black community and particularly to black people. All right? So you hear the sirens? Yeah. This is, like I said, whenever they start attacking me in this way, guess what? They awaken the ancestors within me, and they don't like that. But you guys keep doing it. Keep doing it, because I am here to let the world know what it is that they've been doing. Black people, wake up. Wake up and understand what they've been doing to us. All right, let me finish this. And these people are sadistic. They are the devils. Understand that. There is not one devil. These people are the devils. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.